Tours is an organisation with the philosophy "nothing about us without us" at its heart. We provide accessibility consulting, sensitivity training and instructional workshops for cultural and educational institutions and inclusive sensory tours and experiences for people with vision loss in and around the Philadelphia area. I have a daughter who is 29 years old. She was born blind. It's very obvious that there's very limited offerings out there in community programs or in cultural museums. We would like to just change that a little bit as much as we can in our area. I think it's my greatest motivation really, is to see people light up, people's faces begin to really express their appreciation and their enjoyment. People's reactions is like, wow, I had no idea. You know, I've read about this in school, I've heard about it on the television, or I've heard somebody speak about it on the radio. We really want people to understand that being blind is not that big of a deal in a way. It's no different to being, you know, particularly short or tall or having blonde or brown hair. It's just a way of being.
There's so little cultural accessibility for the blind that we really felt we needed to change that, and that Philadelphia has so much to offer in terms of its history and just all the cool things. I probably wouldn't bother. But coming in here and touching the objects and then learning the stories around those objects and learning the history through these objects just provides a whole other, much more meaningful way of learning. There's a transference of information. See something, you might believe it, but when you touch, you really know it. So when a blind person or their family comes, they can look us up and say, oh, there are some tours we can do.
It's great to see people's faces the first time they see an object with their hands, that first time they really get to interact with it. There's nothing like that experience, and it's what, as an educator, I've always wanted to do. To share the museum's collection with a new group of people who've never had a chance to work with the museum before.
Oh, it's wonderful because their excitement comes through. And often they pick up different perspectives on the artifacts that we didn't notice. I've actually been taught a few things that the visually impaired or blind people find, and I could not notice them myself. So because of the touch experience, I've learned a lot more. And to see the people so happy, and to think that it makes you realize how fortunate we are, those of us that are sighted. But also it makes me feel that other people with other disabilities, like we'd like to help and have them come in.
Each time you have a tour, it's an entirely different experience, even though you're presenting the same material. So you're fashioning things for the people. I found this an exciting way to add art, history, trivia, learning, creativity, all in one large package to other people with vision problems. Each time you're creating something brand new, which I find totally fascinating and very satisfying.
It was neat to be able to examine, like for instance, the Sphinx was huge, but it was neat the way that they set it up, where you got to look at a model as well as a diagram before you actually saw it in full scale, so you kind of got an idea of what it looks like. Just a lot of detail. It's so impressive how much detail they put in these hieroglyphics.
We had a client already come from outside of the city and went on our Italian market tour and felt so impressed that they're thinking about moving to Philadelphia and living independently. You know, that's the kind of impact that we're having.
We're learning through touch, we're learning through handling things. Everybody's learning, we're learning together. And that's the most important thing of all, I think.